that is designated Alpha Tauri. It's an orange giant star located 65 light years from here, and the sun is in the constellation Taurus. But but how do you say that? Do they have something on here? Because I have heard people say it, but I always called it Aldebaran. And what's so funny is some people call it Aldebaran and some Aldebaran, or how they say it, Aldebaran.
I've heard it pronounced both ways. You may be that both ways are okay, depending on where you live in the world.
I wonder how they say it in England or the Netherlands or Canada. But we're being listened to even in China. I was looking at the different countries. But Alpha Tauri, the brightest star in the constellation of Taurus, and the unusual representation. So don't we have a way to check it out on Google or Wikipedia or something? Or sometimes it'll give you. Anyway, y'all check it out and let us know the proper way. We probably won't say it because I'm Southern and Bill's Southern, and I don't know. Was Monroe, Louisiana, and you're in Arkansas, so we weren't too far from each other.
Right.
You know where Jackson, Mississippi is. So I'll have to look up how far. But you can go on. I was just doing Aldebaran, but give me the city you were born in. I'm going to see how far we were born from each other. I'm just into all that stuff. But I'll have another show I can do on, what's today? Friday. Yeah. What, you got Saturday? Okay, Sunday. I may do a spiritual science metaphysical show more and start doing some readings or doing some of my preaching about all this stuff here in the South. But you're welcome to come on Sundays. You're good on Sundays if you're after church or whatever. But I don't know what time, but you could let me know. All right, give me the city you were born in, and I will let you continue because I'm going to add comedy relief while you talk about this stuff. Yes. What is the city you were born?
It's the little town of Monette, Arkansas. Monettee, and not pronounced Monet, but pronounced Monette. Which I guess if you were French, you might pronounce it Monet. But
okay.
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
And to Monroe, Louisiana.
Yeah, but
see where we touched down.
I lived most of my life either in Memphis or near Memphis. But,
and why did you choose to be born there?
Why would I choose to be born there? I have no idea. Actually, I was born in Jonesboro, Arkansas, at the hospital there, which is near Monette. There's no hospital in Monette. But,
well, Monette is 5 hours and 21 minutes from where I was born, straight up north. It's via US 67. So that is sort of kinky, considering we didn't think we knew each other at all. But from overhead coming to the planet, think about it. This is a huge ball. This is a huge spaceship Earth. And Monette, Arkansas, population, not very many, Monette, Arkansas. But, I just find things like that. And we'll do more of that, synchronicity and all of that. But you should see the little map from Monroe to Monette. They're both M's. You go straight from Louisiana right below Arkansas and straight up Arkansas, which is right there close to Memphis, right?
Yeah.
And I only lived 100 miles from Nashville, from Monroe. It doesn't look very big. All right, carry on. I just thought that for some reason that was supposed to be in the show tonight. So everybody look at where you were born compared to Monette, Monettee, a little homework for you, Arkansas, and Monroe, Louisiana, where I was born. For all you ACO members out there, our Ascension Center organization, we've been working on the ACO since the inception to meet each other, and we're still working on that. So American Communications Online in Florida is what we have now, and we go to ACO, which is still us, Ascension Center Oracles, and the Universal Life Ministers on Sunday. But now Bill has the open walk. He's trying to get us to be more open with who we are in all the world religions. So let's get back to, but we're going to get into will the internet achieve ascensions too, but we're starting off with the open walk, and I've printed out a few questions here for him just to keep him moving right along. And so you can skip across them and then whatever touches your fancy there, Bill. So go ahead. You saw what I wrote, and you were discussing Aldebaran in your book. This is a book to be released in 2019. It won't make it by 2018, I bet.
You're right. It won't make it this year. Yeah, it is a work of fiction. It's called The Sophia Crisis, and it's set, like I said, 500 years in the future. And it's a story about this culture of the future where humans are a part of a polyracial culture that includes these Aldebarans. And the Aldebarans are actually one of the member races. And it turns out that in our stories, thousands of years ago, there was a race of beings that came to the earth, actually many, many thousands of years ago, tens of thousands of years ago. A race of beings came to the earth, and they participated in a process known as genetic uplift, and uplifted us, that is our ancestors, into sentience. And now a lot of folks talk about the Anunnaki. In our stories, the Anunnaki came along a little later. The job had already been done by this race we call the Primosians. And
Primosians?
The Primosians. They were the ones who actually uplifted us. And the Anunnaki...
Did they speak English? Or did they use ESP?
The Primosians were telepathic. And in fact, they made us to be telepathic as well. What the Anunnaki did was they didn't genetically uplift us. They genetically downgraded us. They took away our telepathy, and what they gave us instead in its place was language. So they claimed they gave us language. Yeah, they did, because they took away the telepathy we already had before they came along.
So they jacked with our genome. They went in there and messed with our telomeres for the length of time, and they messed with our genome, and the ones we think are junk were probably used. And wow, so how many chromosomes did they promise us? I guess we've got one or two more than a cow. I don't know, pig or something. Did you write all that up in there?
Oh no, we're not. We're only obliquely dealing with these things, in our stories. That it's in the past, and so we got people we call galactropologists, who are galactic archaeologists and anthropologists who are studying all this stuff, trying to piece it together. And so they've only got pieces of the picture, just like we have now, only pieces of the picture of our own history. And so,
well, you must be talking about the scions, because we in every culture seem to have the ESP telepathic ones, and in AI the scions. They don't speak, so it's very hard to be a robot or a future. What am I called? A cyborg or a biological cyborg? One that's got both biological. Did your people have a mixture with the AI or no? Because you do will the internet achieve sentience? I somehow think you know something.
In our future stories, yes, the AI systems on board the spacecraft and the space stations are extremely advanced in these stories. We call them Vox, just like I do in my book about will the internet achieve sentience. So these are indeed sentient AI systems that humankind are interacting with and working with in the future. So yeah, that's involved. Not so much in the past, but in our future stories about the future. Yes. But what we've got going on is basically a lot of genetic engineering is going on as well, and that's a factor that's dealt with in the stories, debated between the characters. Some characters believe that we've gone too far with that, and some believe that there's still a whole lot of future of genetic engineering. And a rival race, a kind of an enemy race, if you will, have tinkered with and put together a genetic hybrid being who's got the best of all the different beings, and she's a super telepath, and her name is Sophia, and basically she's taking over the galaxy telepathically. She's spreading, her mind spreading and taking over everyone's minds, and it's a frightening time for a lot of folks. So this story is basically how the culture seems to be kind of falling apart as she spreads and gobbles up everyone telepathically. And our main character, Rupert, and his little friend, Rascal, are trying to help deal with it. And they're kind of what you might call accidental heroes in the course of the story. So
sounds like a Stan Lee super thing. Maybe you'll get into Marvel Comics and get over and get you a movie made. You never know.
You know, a lot of what we've written has a lot of very visual aspects to it. I really think it would make a great series of movies, because this story is just the beginning of an ongoing series of stories with these main characters. Rupert is a young boy, basically. He starts off at the very beginning of the story. He's series 16 and works his way up, you know. At the time of this actual story that we're writing now, I think he's still 17, just about to turn 18 soon. And so it's like a young adult kind of series as it continues on into his 20s throughout multiple. We just got the outlines from multiple stories, and we got whole portions written of multiple stories. But right now we're just trying to focus on the first one to get it done and out there so that we can then work on the sequence to that.
Well, you probably just gave the plot line. Now everybody will be writing books about the same, I don't know, your world, Bill's world, the open walk.
What I just gave was the barest of outlines of the story. There's so much more to it, so if I haven't really given you much.
Well, we share how to open various subjects, and we're going to teach people how to do that we may remember through our filters and cultural heritage, which can break down into a lot of things that you covered in your open book. But people are going to hear us they're going to want to hear us talk about them and how to help them, so they will tune in, because people like to learn. And that my group used to listen to me, just like you tuned in one day, because we were talking about extraterrestrials and UFOs, which are two big things, but we were under spirituality. Now these days we're under news. So we've gone sort of real on our listening audience, so we're going to have to build up our news flash that we're dealing in reality now. But Bill has written several books, and we're sharing the Open Walk and some ideas on how to share information with our Ascension Center Club, our UFO Secret Space Club, and my company, American Communications Online, that's willing to pay for all these little tools we use so we can archive some of this information, because we're historians and we're authors and we write and we like to meet each other. Now, remembering through our filters and cultural heritage, we're doing what Bill is doing and helping people, and they say they always learn, especially when they listen to Bill and Theresa, believe it or not. So, the Internet Achieves Sentience, that's the last book, or 2 books ago, and what is the Mandela Effect? And he wrote a book dealing with the Mandela Effect, and we talked about that last night or last Saturday. But will we live to see more history evolve as conspiracy theories? And we could talk about those till the cows come home, because people love news and what is fake news. And do corporations and lobbyists control the governments of the world? I don't like to get into politics, but that's just something I wonder if other people have wondered too. And what would we do if there actually is proof that we are all having to learn and how to be whole-brained and learning of our full potential? So we'll have to explain the whole brain versus left or right, which we used to do with the red ball and the blue ball, or we did that, and we're just going to touch on these because I know you can. What if going to space is really a 3D conscious thought with memories? And then what if contact has to deal with knowing about ascension and disclosure of aliens and UFOs? Share what unidentified aerial phenomena really is, and why do we only have red and blue states in 2 major parties in the USA? And not to get political, but these are just questions I'm asking me and myself and remembering